You don't know everything about me. The Avengers weren't my first family. At some point, we all have to choose between what the world wants you to be and who you are.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Happy Super Bowl. So they just dropped the new Marvel Black Widow Super Bowl trailer. There's a bunch of Easter eggs. There's a bunch of new scenes that also clear up the timeline of the actual movie quite a bit. So we'll break it all down. We're doing that Infinity Saga box set giveaway for all the Blu-rays. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite moment from the trailer on the video. So the big theme of the trailer is all about her speaking to the Yelena Belova Black Widow, telling her, I had a family before the Avengers, telling her about David Harbour's Red Guardian character, Alexei Shostakov. Funny thing, because he was in Stranger Things, there was an Alexei character there, so R.I.P. Alexei from Stranger Things. But he's also meant to be the Russian version of Captain America. He got a diluted version of the super soldier serum. The way David Harbour explains his character is that he was this great hope for the Russian people. The Soviets, when they created him, thought that he was really going to be the next best Captain America. He didn't give away why they considered him a failure. Something happened at some point in the past. He refused their orders and they threw him in prison. That's why you see all these scenes of him fighting in what looks like the prison yard. He's still crazy strong, like Captain America is strong because of that super soldier serum. But as you can see, he's gone to seed just a little bit because he's been in prison for so long. One of the greatest jokes in the previous trailer is when he says it's mostly water weight. Anyone who's ever played sports in high school or college probably remembers somebody talking about water weight. But within their little family unit, he was sort of her surrogate father. And then you have to imagine that the Yelena Vostokov Black Widow, the one that played by Rachel Weisz, was her surrogate mother. And we literally heard Yelena Belova call her sister, so that's sort of what their family is like. But this is all happening after the events of Captain America Civil War. We see her in that new Black Widow costume. It's very much made to look like the comic book Black Widow costume with the golden gauntlets. And because you see them all standing here in the wreckage of whatever it is that they dive bomb off of, this big building that's being destroyed, the footage basically confirms that this is the next version of the Black Widow costume. It's not a flashback scene because you all see them standing around here, some of them in the white costumes from earlier in the trailer. The white Black Widow costume is also a deep cut for the comics. There's just a couple big Black Widow comic book things that the movies have never done that obviously now they're doing because this is all about her character. It's still not totally clear what it is they're blowing up here high in the sky. It's either just some building or some part of the Black Widow program. Because a lot of this conversation hedges on her trying to turn Yelena Belova away from the dark side of the Force, it sounds like that also happened with her family in the past, too. Like I said, David Harbour's character, Red Guardian, thrown in prison. We don't really know where Yelena Vostokov character has been this whole time. There's a bunch more footage of the Taskmaster character. Now, because a lot of the voiceover talks about not being who the state wants you to be, obviously they're talking about the Russian state, then trying to turn them into weapons, it sounds like the Taskmaster is also a separate character that is created by the Red Room program, or at least is associated with it. I don't think that means the Taskmaster is going to suddenly turn good, but I think that also implies the Thunderbolts arc that a lot of people have been talking about. Thunderbolts supposed to be featured at some point during the Black Widow movie and during the Falcon and Winter Soldier Avengers series that's going to be happening in present day. Just to be clear, all the Disney Plus stuff, the Falcon Winter Soldier stuff, WandaVision, that takes place after Avengers Endgame. The majority of the events of the Black Widow movie take place between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. But there's a lot of theories about a post-credit scene being set in present day with them putting the Thunderbolts team together. Taskmaster is just one of the prime candidates because he was a member of the team in the comics and because he's just such an interesting character with unusual powers. Like, you literally see him pull a Captain America when he stomps on his shield and picks it up. That's right out of the elevator scene, very famous elevator scene in Captain America Winter Soldier. The reason why he can do that is because he probably watched footage of Captain America inside that elevator. Obviously, that was all Hydra stuff going on at the time, but Black Widow released all the Hydra files and all the SHIELD files publicly, so literally everybody in the Russian government, Taskmaster, they would have been able to see all that stuff. There's also a deleted scene from Captain America Winter Soldier that connects to what's happening with the Black Widow movie. There's some plot points that they'll pick up on. There was a scene where she's talking to Alexander Pierce and she's slowly unlocking all the SHIELD files, getting ready to release them, and he's trying to stop her from doing that. The audio is a little janky for some reason, but it's still a pretty good scene.
What are you doing?
She's disabling security protocols and dumping all the secrets onto the internet.
Including Hydra's.
And SHIELD's. If you do this, none of your past is going to remain hidden. Not Budapest, not Osaka, not the children's ward. Are you sure you're ready for the world to see you as you really are?
Are you?
Well, look out the window. It doesn't matter what our enemies think about us anymore.
That's why they're going down.
Pretty high opinion of Roger's chances.
Clearly, you haven't been paying attention.
So during that, Alexander Pierce is trying to throw her past the red on her ledger in her face, and obviously during these trailers, the Black Widow trailer, she's talking about not running from her past anymore. So a lot of this is just picking up a lot of the slack that they left with unanswered questions about her past, what happened, what are all these things that they're referencing during these previous movies. Budapest is just the one that everybody thinks of because they reference Budapest so many times, most recently during Avengers Endgame when she and Hawkeye were headed to Vormir. Jeremy Renner was posting a whole bunch right before they dropped this, so I still do have a theory that he'll have some sort of cameo at the end of the Black Widow movie that will address how he met her in Budapest and offered her a spot on S.H.I.E.L.D., offered her a chance to make her life better. Pretty much the same speech that she's giving to Yelena Belova during the course of this Black Widow Super Bowl trailer. I know there's still a lot of theories about who the Taskmaster character is secretly going to be because he's got his comic book mask on the whole time. I still think it's going to be the Mason character who's played by O.T. here. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I don't want to mess it up, but I believe it's going to be his character. That's my early theory right now. A lot of you have also asked if they're going to feature Easter eggs for other big Marvel comic book Russian characters like Crimson Dynamo. Really big character that we haven't seen a whole lot from in the Marvel movies. Crimson Dynamo is an Iron Man character. There's a lot of rumors of Robert Downey Jr. having some deleted scene cameo during the Black Widow movie, some sort of flashback to the events of Captain America Civil War, but it's going to be deleted footage from Captain America Civil War, not Robert Downey Jr. coming back to film new scenes. Connecting Black Widow to more Iron Man stuff just because Iron Man permeates the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies so much because they're built on his foundation. Whiplash, big Russian character, was the main villain of Iron Man 2. Although he's presumed dead at the end of that movie, there's always ways to bring him back. Obviously, Justin Hammer is also a prime candidate for a Thunderbolts project, whether that happens on Disney Plus or in the movies. But there's a surprising amount of Black Widow-connected Russian Marvel comic book characters that have been happening in the MCU. All the Winter Soldier stuff with Hydra happening in Siberia is a little bit separate from the Red Room stuff, though. There's a lot of questions about what's going on with Winter Soldier. Obviously, we have the Falcon and Winter Soldier series coming up. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of flashbacks during that to his past. He's also clearing red off of his ledger, still considered a war criminal by the US government, too, in General Ross. During Captain America Winter Soldier, she said that she ran afoul of him in the past when she was still acting as a Black Widow with the Red Room program, so it's possible that they include some moment or some reference from that. It would be weird to not have Winter Soldier featured in at least some small way during the movie. For the most part, the biggest surprises that I'm expecting would be Thunderbolts related, maybe some sort of Black Widow post-credit scene with General Thunderbolt Ross, just because he's featured so prominently in all the trailers. I just feel like they're going to try and connect this to present day somehow. I saw a lot of you making Fantastic Four John Krasinski jokes because he showed up in a Super Bowl trailer with Chris Evans doing some funny stuff. It was mostly meant to be a parody. This was an ad that they did, a commercial. So this isn't them saying that he's going to be Mr. Fantastic in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or anything. It's just a funny coincidence because they're both from Boston and they're doing their funny Boston accents during the trailer. I know everyone's been posting the fan art of John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic and Emily Blunt as the Invisible Woman. She would be amazing in any Marvel movie. She was their original choice to be Black Widow in Iron Man 2. She wasn't able to do it because of a scheduling conflict. That's actually how Scarlett Johansson wound up becoming the Black Widow of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There were reports recently that Emily Blunt was meeting with Marvel about taking a major role in a future movie. We don't know if that was a Fantastic Four movie or if that was for, say, like the Clea character during Doctor Strange 2 because they're getting ready to go into production on Doctor Strange 2 in the next couple of months. So if we get any more news about that or Marvel's new Fantastic Four movie, of course I'll do a video about it. So everyone, post all your theories in the comments below. How are they going to connect this movie to present day even though it's set during the past? And all the other stuff that just happened recently during Avengers Endgame. There's supposed to be a trailer for the Avengers Falcon and Winter Soldier series dropping really soon, as well as a WandaVision trailer. I don't know when that's going to happen, but of course I'll do videos for it when they do. If there's any big requests that you guys have, just leave them in the comments below. Everyone, click here for my brand new Avengers 5 and Marvel Phase 5 video, and click here for my brand new Marvel Eternals teaser breakdown. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.